We're
Thanks.
live. We're here. People were
Hi.
very excited that we were going to be chatting tonight.
I know. It's like been a long time coming perhaps because they've been
Yes.
very stoked.
Look, I have
Always.
no plan. I've been doing these Substack lives mostly because I think like people just need something to do that's not be sad. And
Yeah.
also, like, I couldn't possibly prepare more content, but we have more to say. So I'm like, I'm just going to hop on with my faves and shit talk.
Yeah, I love it.
I could see Bryce Rabbits is here in the chat. Thanks for being here, Bryce. Bryce is working on a dust bunny tattoo for me.
Oh, how cool.
Right?
Oh
We need
my
a dust
gosh.
bunny.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that you call them. Did they start calling themselves dust bunnies or did you give them
They
that?
did. The dust bunnies wanted a name that they could call themselves. This was a couple years ago when it was sort of like everybody was like getting like a name for their fans or
Yeah.
whatever. And so somebody came up with it and we voted on it and they said dust bunnies because we're under the desk too. And I was like, that is the friggin' cutest.
I am obsessed. It's my favorite like fandom name that
Yeah.
I've ever heard. I love it.
Hmm. And I am also a dust bunny. Like, we're all
Of
dust bunnies
course.
together. So that's how it
Together.
works. Yeah. Do
Yes.
you have a name? Is it like class? Your class?
No, they've tried. They've tried a couple times to be like
The
plays on
Frazzlers?
yeah, like different like Fraz
Mhm.
things, but no, we don't. I mean, I'm also not as gigantic as you, so I think
I feel
it's
like you are. I feel like you are.
well,
I feel like we have the same kind of like, I feel like we came up at the same time. I feel like we're the
yeah.
same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's a smaller group of mine, I suppose. So maybe when they're bigger and they need to self-identify more, they will come up with things. But yeah, because you started in 2022 as well, right?
2021. Yeah, I
Mhm.
started, well, what, no, because Trump was still president when I started. It was 2020,
Had
but
to
I
be
started
2020.
as a cooking content creator. I don't know a lot of people know this.
No.
So I all through my whole life worked in restaurants
Pour water, pour wine, read minds, just check in. I can't do this myself. I can't do this, but new world order, pal.
in many capacities, waiter, host, general manager, event planner, chef, road chef, all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
And when the pandemic came, I was working for the James Beard Foundation and it was like my dream job. I really thought I would die there. I thought I had like achieved. I just got married. Everything was like going awesome for me. We were moving to New we moved to New York City. I was like, this is the
oh,
greatest thing that ever happened. Everything was amazing. And the pandemic came and it was like, oh shit, okay, cool. My wife who was on tour with like Michael Bublé, they were like,
right.
no more shows and no more James Beard jobs. So I started cooking, making like cheeseburgers and doing a lot of like how to make stuff with nothing. Cause in Brooklyn, I think people had a very different pandemic experience, but in Brooklyn, it was apocalyptic. It was really quite
Mm.
terrible. And you couldn't get food and you couldn't get anything. So I was like teaching people how to like make do with stuff. And also how to apply for PPP loans. So that's how I started.
Nice. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
how crazy. What a journey it has been since then.
I know, it's, like, right about that time now. I think I started my first TikTok, I wanna say, was towards the end of April. I think
Yeah.
it was, like, around that time that I was, like a lot of my chef friends were making TikToks, and they were like John Kung, right? He
Oh my gosh,
and a cook
yes.
named Matt. Those were, like, my in real life friends, and then now we're TikTok people.
My gosh, it's so crazy. Yeah.
And you were, like,
Lockdown
teaching
was a tough.
school.
I was teaching on my balcony. I was doing kindergarten because my husband he had to be on meetings too. And I was like, you know what? It's so nice outside. I'm just gonna like be on the patio with the dogs. And then that like turned into my makeshift classroom. And then of course I just was making content like in a corner behind a fake plant in my room. Like my boyfriend can't see me do this weird internet thing that I'm doing. And I was posting like 13 times a day. It was
If your leg get cut off, would it hurt? Duh. How though? Cause your leg got cut off, fool. Where you gonna feel the pain? In your leg. Exactly, bruh. How you gonna feel the pain in your leg if your leg is gone?
just a very crazy
I agree.
season.
My first just to have fun reminiscing about 5 years ago at this time what we were doing, my first TikToks that I made, I didn't have any lights or microphones or anything, and so I would only be able to make them during the day because there was enough light coming into the New York apartment that I would, like, get good light,
Yeah.
otherwise I couldn't make them, And if it rained, I couldn't make them because I didn't have anything like in the
Mhm,
overhead light. Forget it. The big light, I would rather
mhm.
die. And it was just so impossible. And that's why when folks are like, oh, I don't know if I could do it, I'm like, you have to just be vulnerable and start making content because I had no idea what it was going to be like. And you just do what you want and see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just see how it goes. I always feel like I encourage people the same way because it's like, especially with now that we're both talking about politics and news and stuff,
Yep.
it's like you just got to go for it. And
Yeah.
it feels weird at first, but then, it doesn't. You find your people, I think.
Have you been doing anything more in person lately? Because for like being an internet person, I've been trying to like spend less time on my phone.
Yes, I have been putting it down. I mean, it's crazy because my friends know that like I like to talk on the phone, but like
Wait, I
texting,
love the phone.
I love the phone.
I could how old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, I'm 42, but we
Okay.
are millennial.
Yes.
I could talk on the phone. I wanna put, like, a phone line in my bedroom like I'm in high school. I
Ooh.
would talk on the phone all day.
It's Regina. She wants to hang out with me tonight, but she told me not to tell you. Do not hang out with her.
Yes, my commute to school used to be so long when I was teaching, because of course in LA you cannot like I was teaching on the west side and I
Mhm.
could not afford to live anywhere near school. So my commute was
Mm.
an hour and 45 every day.
Ooh,
And it was crazy. And then I would just call people. I had
yeah,
the same conversation like 5 times. I'm just like, all right, see you later. Boop, 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 boop. Next friend. Like,
yeah,
it's just, I mean, every time somebody asks me, like, how do you cope? How do you stay engaged with the
yeah,
news? And I'm like, well, I'm off the internet.
yeah.
I also don't scroll very much.
Mm,
I go through phases with different apps where I'll scroll on like that app. But right now I'm like doing crosswords, like
mhm,
12 crosswords a day. And my friends are
mhm.
like, hey, did you see this trend or did you see this TikTok? And I'm like, no, you could post the coolest TikTok ever and I will not see it unless you send it to me because I'm like a grandma, even though I'm chronically online for like apparently. I'm posting all day, but I ain't scrolling. I'm not there.
I've changed, significantly my behaviors. Every single book that gets pitched to me now is like, "Hey, this person wrote a book. Would you like to get a copy of it?" I'm like, "Yes. Yes, I
Yep.
would." I'm just very interested in what's new that's not internet. I feel like I lost a year doing the campaign, so I'm like, "Let me hear yeah, I wanna read your book. I wanna see what it's about." Like
Uh-huh. I love that. I mean, yes, the campaign time was absolutely bonkers. It was like I feel like from February to November, I just like lost the whole time. I was
mhm.
like, it's a blur.
What year is it?
Now we're in a sitch where I'm like, it's so difficult because some of the people who gave me so much opportunity, I'm now saying, I need you to step down, like Chuck Schumer. I need you
Oh, I
to pass the
know.
baton of power. And it's not that I don't respect you. It's almost because I respect you that I want to tell you straight. I need you to be a mentor, not a leader, right? I need you to
Yeah.
be here as a safety net and a counsel, but I need you to let somebody else be the star. Okay.
Mhm.
Like we have to let somebody else make the choices here. We have to promote a new general, which, but they
Yes,
just don't want to. I mean,
I know. What do you think
they are
about
delusional.
they are quite delulu. What do you think about the AOC and Bernie things going on right now?
So I am notoriously not a Bernie fan and I get a ton of shit about it, but I am honest with people, if nothing else. I think with this, I have changed my mind entirely about Bernie. And I think that that is an example of a man who ran for president several times, who has been in politics for far too long. The way that he is like, I think just the dynamic between he and AOC is so interesting to the fact that he is raising her star without centering himself at all. He is
Yeah.
just quite simply allowing her like, he knows how to, like, put the jet fuel in the rocket, but she's still the
Mhm.
rocket, and I think that that is really cool, and, whether Chuck Schumer likes it or not, and, now I do believe AOC will run for Chuck Schumer's seat because a lot of people know AOC as a bartender, but she went to, like, law school, like, she's
Yes.
a professional, she knows the laws, so,
Yes, and we
I'm
need
hopeful,
that.
and she is the leader to me. I don't know, what do you
Yeah,
think
me
about it?
too. Same. I mean, definitely same. And I don't know if it's just because I've been so emo lately, but like when they were chanting Bernie and he was like,
Mm,
"No, it's you. It's always been you." I was like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm crying. Oh, because it's like that, like exactly what you said. It's like he's elevating AOC. I think she's doing such amazing work. And I think everybody can have different feelings about everyone, of course, but like I do think that she's pushing the envelope in ways that people have been calling for. And
Mhm,
that's exciting to me, where I'm like, okay, yeah, look at the numbers she is getting at these events.
mhm,
And it's like very exciting. And it feels like we're getting a little bit of that hope feeling
mhm,
back that I was
mhm,
feeling like watching Kamala run and like
mhm.
watching her rallies. And I'm like, okay, that
Okay,
feels good.
okay.
Yeah.
I also like that AOC is not running for president. She'll be going to the Senate next. There's a little bit of time before she goes for that ultra top seat. And I think that that's great because this is the person who understands they're in the work, doing the work. And that's where we really want her to be. And I love
Yeah.
that. Um, I think what they're doing is very good, and I think that there's just it's one of these things where we've wanted change from Democratic leadership for the last like 10 years. Like Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, all those people really should have kind of left when Obama left. That what they were old at that time.
Mhm.
And they did
Yeah.
it, right? You did it. We did the
Yeah.
Obama, and you should have rode out with that. And now so many people from the Obama years want to continue to maintain the baton of power, and I'm like, but you're not the guy anymore. We're not in Obama's world anymore. It's a totally different world. So, like,
Yeah.
Pod Save isn't going to save you, and Chuck Schumer can't lead you, and Nancy Pelosi doesn't have the power that she once did, nor should
Mhm.
she. So it's like we're in
Mhm.
a new world, and the power and the idea of like what is, political currency has also changed. It's not just about fundraising; it's about
Yep.
do people believe in you now, which is how we want it to be, But
Yeah.
Joe Biden
Absolutely.
saying, "I'm ready to get back in there and fundraise for you if you want," and then being like, "No, Joe."
I I was like, do we not like money? I don't know. I haven't looked into it much, but I was like, that's kind of weird. Okay, I
The
guess we
hu
don't want money.
the humiliation of Joe Biden is something that, like, pains me in many ways, like, because it's just it goes so deep, like, he
Yeah.
still has so much, like, leftover hurt from when he was vice president and didn't feel like
Yes.
Obama liked him that much that, like, to have the Democratic Party turn on him. But this is why people have to retire. It's tricky. It's like being,
No.
it's like being CEO of a big company and then seeing him hit a roadblock and be like, "Well, I'll come back as CEO." And it's like it's not 1960 anymore.
I
Timex
know. I
watches
know.
doesn't run like that the same way.
I know. It's like so much of the inner workings of things and so much behind the scenes that I think a lot of people don't know or don't think about. Because it's like these people are like figureheads and it's like you don't
Hmm.
think of them as like the interpersonal workplace
Hmm.
relational drama that there is.
Then you get into the consultants, which is going to be my thing. I'm going to do like a Substack on, I think for this Monday or next Monday. I can't remember when we have it coming out, but within politics, there's the people you see, and then there's a whole legion of people who create the political sphere known as like the consultants, right? Or
Hmm.
the third parties or whoever. And a lot of those people have political clients. So if we take the Miami mayor's race, which is going to be my example, you have Ken Russell, who we love, the TikToker, Ken, the former Miami controller, commissioner, who's wonderful. He is running for mayor, but there's a consultant in Florida who has a couple political clients who right now just won election in the state senate. They technically have 2 more years that they should be serving that position, but he will
Hmm.
make a lot more money, this consultant, if he pulls one of his political clients and tells them to run for mayor of Miami, because all that money that comes in to fundraise for that campaign, he keeps 20% of.
Mm.
So there is a huge incentive to consultants with political clients, the publicists, the marketers, the people who make it happen or whatever, to
Hmm.
continue to move folks around for their own benefit, even if that is not the best candidate for that area. Their funders will believe in that consultant. If that consultant makes money, the more they run their clients. So
Oh
that
my
messes us
gosh.
up quite a bit too.
I can't wait to read that.
What do you think about Gavin Newsom's podcast?
Oh my God, gag me with a spoon. I am so over, and I was in
Why
LA.
is this happening?
I I am so peeved by him. I was in LA when he cleared out the freaking homeless encampments, and it was just awful.
Such
It
an
was awful,
asshole.
awful, awful. Such a dick. And then I slowly was like, time it has passed. Perhaps Gavin Newsom is a
Learned.
different man. He's, he learned and that was shitty and maybe he's different. No, I cannot believe
It's
the
so
shit,
bad.
the oh my God. I'm so mad at him. I don't think it's beneficial whatsoever. I don't think it's
Mm-mm,
gonna make anybody flip. I think
mm-mm,
I was very pleased with what Tim Walz said to him
mm-hmm,
because I was like, correct. Thank you for saying that
mm-hmm.
to his face because he needs to know. And I, not that it's going to change anything. I mean, I'm sure there's like locked and loaded some kind of contract where he's like, and now for my next guest.
I don't need sitting politicians to have podcasts. I need them to do their job.
And I think if he was going to have this podcast, I would have appreciated him speaking with like if he was going to talk to Republicans, talk to like the farmers, talk to
Mm-hmm.
the people who like talk to people who work in like coal and stuff like that. Like
Or Debbie,
Gavin
we're
Newsom's
talking about Gavin
podcast.
Newsom's
Yeah.
podcast. It's bad. Oh my God. Yeah, and I don't know who listens to or whatever. I'm very proud of the Midas Touch Boys for having the number one podcast for the last 2 months. They've
Yes.
been beating Joe Rogan's numbers. There's another podcast that's done by some of my veteran friends who they call it The Find Out, and it's
Ooh.
just a bunch of, like, former service members talking about how fucked everything is, and they
Uh-huh.
broke into the Apple charts at the top 30, and I think all that just proves that there is a market for
Mhm.
non-toxic male podcasts. Men wanna be kept company, they wanna be
Yeah.
entertained, feel like they have friends and whatnot. They don't wanna be bummed out, and they're probably sick of talking about trans people by this point, that's all the right ever does, and these
Mhm.
new podcasts that are coming up that are just like, dudes chilling seem to be, doing just as well.
My
So,
husband loves them. My
yes.
husband, he always has his little AirPod in, his little emotional support
Yep.
AirPod, and he has those podcasts rolling. One day he brought up Turning Point to me and was like talking some shit, and I was like, "Who taught you
Okay.
that?
Okay,
Who taught you
sexy.
that?"
Okay, husband.
Yeah, I
I
was like,
know.
he's like bringing these organizations up to me and like talking, and I'm like, okay, oh, yeah, let's have this conversation. But
Let's
like,
do
I
it.
didn't know that you knew them. But okay.
My favorite boy podcast is Behind the Bastards. I don't know if you've ever
Ooh,
listened to that. Robert Evans is such
no.
an incredible journalist and he's so great and he tells like the backstory of like the worst people in the world. But there's sometimes like 3 and 4 parts and they're fascinating. They're like he's incredible.
Cool.
He's very good at distilling people's lives. So the first couple ones are all Hitler, right? And there's several
Yeah.
different versions of the Hitler podcast on Behind the Bastards because there's so many different parts. But he's done the Zizians, which is like that cult that just got caught
Yeah.
out. He's done is he did one he's had the show for several years and he says that the number one person he gets asked to do is Oprah and he hasn't done is Oprah a bastard yet because of her like cultural and social relevance and
Yeah.
just like yeah, she has a terrible backstory herself, as a lot of
Yeah.
bastards do, but is she a bastard or not? And he kind of determined that she's not, but he did like 4 parts on Oprah and like
Wow.
the ways that like the network involved people like Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz and that
Mhm.
those people just are bastards. So any platform that they got whatsoever, they were going to be responsible for turning into more bastardry. Um,
Huh.
and I just think it's so that's a great one for dudes if you're looking for a podcast, Behind the Bastards.
Thank you. I will check that out and tell my husband to put it in his emotional support AirPod
It's
rotation.
good.
My
Is your
child
husband
just entered the Jay, what are you doing? She just entered the garage. Hi.
She's like, "Mommy, I need you."
Oh yeah. Oh, she doesn't want to.
Okay.
It's okay. We're gonna go. No
Yeah,
worries. Thanks.
we are done. The conclusion of tonight's episode is enjoy your hoe phase, be responsible, and don't send pics that you don't my mom used to say, "Write it in a note, see it on a billboard." Think of that. Think of that.
Think of that. And that's the advice from your aunties to you.
Goodbye, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. See you later,
Bye
Fraz.
everyone.